Agreed. Greetings and salutations.
The universe is just doomed. 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 Doomed.
Hello, it's me, Nicole.
And me. And me, Tessa.
I don't know why I didn't say us. See, first I can't remember my name. Then I didn't.
See?
I'm just introducing myself here.
See, it's because you're like switching it up and I get confused.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep it.
My
fresh.
cue is like, I know, but then you're confusing me and then I'll fuck it up and then it's not fresh. It's just funky fresh.
No, the truth is I've already been smoking a bowl and drinking a little bit, and we're recording remotely, which is always a different, vibe. We have no research assistant.
Nope.
Because I had cramps and I didn't feel like driving for 2 hours today, and I was like, you know what?
Cramps. I'm not.
We can talk about Innerspace remotely. Ooh, it makes it it's Gotta
we're
make
like,
it sci-fi. Oh, because it's the beginning of Sci-Fi July. Welcome to Sci-Fi July.
Oh shit! I had forgotten that this is the beginning of a new month for us, a new little themed month, Sci-Fi July.
So we've got a sci-fi comedy, a sci-fi action, and a couple of sci-fi horrors coming your way this month.
Yes.
Mixing it up.
One's a little lighter than the other, one's gross.
Yeah. So, and also another Meg Ryan. Didn't realize we were throwing two Meg Ryans within a few weeks of each other.
There's a lot of people that have shown up recently and before. Joe Flaherty.
Yeah, he was just
he's in it, like just
One
for a
Crazy
bit
Summer.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And Wendy Shaw, I know, has come up.
The only movie I know that she was in one thing we did, but I know when we covered, it was something on the Cultworthy podcast. She was in one of those.
Maybe that's
Out There.
Maybe
I think she might have been in Out There,
but I feel like I don't know. I feel like there was, and then also. I feel like Vernon Wells has come up before. Robert Picardo has come up before. What was it? Henry Gibson has come up before.
Oh, of course, yes.
So yeah, and Orson Beans.
Orson
Beans, he's come up too. So yeah, there's quite a few people throughout all of this that we've seen.
And I had totally forgotten this was a Joe Dante Spielberg joint.
It is, right? It is the only one of his films that has won an Academy Award.
Did it really?
For the special effects.
Okay, well, I mean, it was 1987, and there was some pretty good. Like, it didn't take me out of it where I was like, oh my God, you gotta say this.
That was part of the thing that I remembered because we'll just say it right off the bat. I don't know what movie it was that I was watching when all those times I watched Innerspace as a child, but I was like,
yeah,
I don't remember. Like,
so neither one of us have watched this in what, 30?
At least
30
I was
plus.
a kid.
Yeah, but I watched it a lot of
TV.
times.
Yes, it was more than once. It was more than twice.
I feel like
maybe
it was definitely something that came on TV, and I feel like maybe part of the thing was we saw it from certain points over and over. So like you probably sat down and watched the whole thing once, but then when it came on TV and it was like the fun part, you just left it on.
Right. You're like, oh, Innerspace. Because I remember like, oh, Innerspace. Like, you know, it would be your channel surfing, whatever. Like, oh, I'm going to watch this Martin Short.
And it was before we knew Dennis Quaid was an asshole. So
he was
so
cute.
I know. I fucking hate how cute he is.
I know. He's
really adorable.
Super into, what was it? Christian country music.
Oh,
his passion now.
Oh, is it?
With his new wife with the age gap of 40
his 40 year younger wife.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Just housing a fucking platter of prawns.
Fuck. Thank God he doesn't. We only have to see him eat one time in this, and it's like a chicken nugget.
They stop him before.
They're like, no.
To that point, they're like, do not let him approach the seafood buffet.
But yes, my memory, I think it's a combination of that fact that I probably didn't rewatch the whole thing over and over.
Maybe.
And that there's been so many things in media that have used that Innerspace technology of like, they're going in to help, like a lot of cartoons and stuff for the most part.
Right.
But like they find a way to miniaturize you to like help you get better. And so in my memory, Martin Short was actually sick. And Dennis Quaid was sent in to do something.
Yes.
I did not remember this whole other plot.
No.
I thought it was like he went in purposely. Like he knew he was going in Martin Short.
He was like the test
and Martin Short
subject.
knew he was there. And so all that lead up, that whole Joe Joe Banks lead up of him going to the
Yes.
doctor and being a hypochondriac. I was like, first of all, didn't he
And
just
I
do Joe versus the
swear,
volcano?
I fucking read something about how Tom Hanks was
Gonna do one of these
offered
roles.
one of the parts or whatever, but he was doing Dragnet. I feel like that's.
We got to do Dragnet.
I feel like that's.
I
I
watched that
know.
one a
I
lot, too.
fucking love.
I watched that a ton.
Love Dragnet. I'm a card carrying member of Pagan.
I remember Pagan. That outfit, his disguise with the furry chaps or whatever that was, and the mohawk.
the goat leggings.
Yeah, that's what it was. Goat leggings. Fuck, I haven't watched that in a really long time, but I loved that as a kid.
I have a it's my best Tom Hanks little DVD set that I think it's The Burbs, Dragnet, and Money Pit.
All the top ones.
It's like all the best ones or whatever. Like when he was a comedic actor.
Right.
But I feel like that's what I read, that he was offered or interested in one of those roles, and I can't remember what it was now.
Well, speaking of who was cast, let's get into who was cast.
That's indeed Dennis Quaid as Lieutenant
Lieutenant Pendleton.
Pendleton.
Martin Short as Jack Potter or Putter? Jack Putter.
Putter.
Can't read my own writing.
Right. Meg Ryan as Lydia Maxwell.
And now we had already texted like, okay, they met on this movie. They got married
did.
after this movie. Did they name
They
their
did.
son Jack?
Because of this.
They both had this affection for this movie and where they met, and because the main character's name was Jack.
Right. And what was it? 4 years later, they got married.
Okay, so they
Because
just started
this-
dating at this
Right.
point.
They met on this. And also, their little song, Cupid, is they got married on Valentine's Day of 1991.
Oh, I'm
So
sure that
also
song
because
played.
of that. I'm sure of it. Because that's where we met and, whatever. So when
Interesting.
Jack Quaid was born.
A quick Google could probably tell us the answer.
It
You guys
probably
be our
could, but I'm
research
not going to
assistant.
do that.
Somebody out there listening now, weeks after we've recorded this, send me
Right.
a message and tell me, did you look it
And
up?
we'll be like, the what?
Who are you talking about? Oh, yes. Jack Quaid. Got it.
Yes.
Robert Picardo, who's come up several times. He's always one of the
Yes.
most interesting characters, and he plays the
Oh, I know.
cowboy in this. And I remembered him.
Oh, yeah. I did, but I didn't. It was like I've
Right.
seen him wearing them boots before out there. New
And
boot
with that
goofing.
curly hair.
Oh, my God. The hair.
So funny.
The hair, the accent, the gold tooth, the everything. Vernon Wells as Mr. Igoe, who I kept calling Snap On through the whole thing.
Snap on. Or that's Clap On.
No, that's Clap On.
I don't know if Snap On has a jingle.
He was in, what was it?
I meant
Weird Science.
A Weird Science.
He was the.
Oh
You
yes,
can't even
the
take a
biker gang.
shower
I fucking
with
knew.
a beautiful woman.
Yes, I was like, I need to look up who this guy is because he looks
Yes.
so familiar. And yes,
And he
yes,
was in
yes.
Commando, and he was in Mad Max, and he was in this movie.
He plays a good bad guy.
He does, but not in Commando. Like, no, I can't imagine how anybody is afraid of him in Commando with his little chainmail
I
vest
don't remember.
that he wears. He's like whiny.
Oh.
It's not becoming and it's not befitting, quite frankly.
I have Kevin McCarthy as Victor Scrimshaw.
Yes, that guy. Fiona Lewis as Dr. Margaret Canker.
Harold Sylvester as Pete Blanchard.
Wendy Shaw as Wendy.
Henry Gibson as Dr. Wormwood.
William Shallert as Dr. Greenbush.
We got a little taste of Andrea Martin and Joe Flaherty as just like waiting room patients.
Right. John Hora as Ozzie Wexler.
The ever-present in Joe Dante films Dick Miller as the cab driver.
Yes. He's in a lot of things. And also, this guy shows up all the time. Mark L. Taylor. He's been in like a tons of shit. He's the one at the very, very end when they sneeze on his glasses.
Oh, okay.
He's that guy.
Gotcha.
Like, he's just another one of those people. Orson Beans as Lydia's editor.
Orson Beans.
Orson Beans.
That's all I got.
Oh, I also have Kevin Hooks as Dwayne, Lydia's helper that she's always calling in to help her out. And yeah, that's all I got. So
here we go. So right from the beginning, I went,
Here.
the vibe is wrong.
I know.
The vibe is
Like
not
this-
what I anticipated.
this sci-fi synth music
Yeah, it's
that's
like
happening like
sinister
through the
synth
crystals.
setting it up. Yeah, and we're like, I was all, what are we looking at? Are we in a cave? Or is this jewels? What's happening? It's like, no, it's ice in a glass.
It's
a
ice,
very
duh.
dramatic filming of ice in a glass.
Duh. And now it's like a cold drink on the rocks. It's like a scotch on the rocks at like this awards ceremony.
Which at first I was like, it's a military thing. And then when he started naming off the things these people do, I was like, so it's just pilots of all different craft.
Or like, yes, but like space,
regular
or what do
air,
you call those people?
whatever.
Astronauts and whatever terrestrial.
It said like
pilots,
test
etc.
pilots or something on the wall.
or something. But he's like all drunk and shitty.
And making a fucking ass of himself.
I know.
And just right off the bat, I did not realize him and Meg Ryan were already supposed to be together because she's like covering her face. She's like, oh God. She like,
I
just
know.
goes,
Like Pete comes together like you need to take him home.
You need to come get your mans.
There's a ruckus in the kitchen.
He's like knocking shit over.
I
He's
know,
talking
they're
shit
like-
to people, like, because he's bitter because he's not getting an award, I guess, or
I don't know what he's shitty because he's a drunk.
Well, yes.
Is really what the problem
Yes.
is. The problem is his alcoholism for the most part. But I
Correct.
don't know why he's like a shit talker and like for undeserved reasons. He's like arrogant and like thinks everybody owes him just because he flew some shit sometimes.
right.
Because it doesn't ever go into like what he
No,
did.
why? Yeah, like
Why he should be a bigger deal. Like, oh, well, he's just mad because he flew
clearly
that
there was a
mission one
thing.
time.
Yes, he had a Maverick
Right,
kind
like
of only if
there's-
Maverick fucked up and became an alcoholic. Like,
Right, but there was like none of that backstory. It was
No.
just like, oh, here he goes. He
yeah,
does this shit all
like
the time.
everyone's expecting it. He seems like a real asshole.
Exactly.
And so she goes in to check on him, and then you realize, like, oh, this is her man because she like
Right.
scoops his ass up, and her hair.
And this is where I know
It is
with
so
that
full of gel.
it is so crispy.
oh, there's no way you're running your
It is
fingers through that.
Nope, no, you are not. And this is where they fell in love. She looked at this. I mean, like he's cute.
But she looked at this guy playing a hot fucking mess, and even when he's sober,
And-
he's an asshole.
And I noticed the amount of sweat because I know that we discussed this on Jaws 3. And
Yes.
apparently he got clean only about 35 years ago, which would encompass
So he was
Jaws 3 to Innerspace
all
times
coked out
where
on
he
this
could
too.
have possibly been a coked out mess because his hair is wet
Yeah.
through this entire movie.
can't stop sweating.
Right.
So yeah, so she takes him home, puts him on the couch. He's trying to get frisky. She's like not having it.
Right. Like not in your shitty, messy,
And like, what is this apartment
robot
with like
rabbit
rabbits?
cover.
Yeah,
Like,
like
what
what's
the
going
fuck
on?
is happening here? Like his robot arm cannot even pour a tiny vodka
It spills
without
everywhere.
ruining his pack of smokes.
And when she tries to leave, he like, oh no, let me go put our song on. And why she melts, he
I
does nothing
know.
else but go put that song on, and then he starts like slow dancing with her.
And like, you think that this is like, I know that once he gets in close, like, I'm sure his breath probably smells like fucking puke
And
and
just-
whiskey.
oh, man.
And then he's going to take her back into the bedroom, probably not even that far. He's going to take her down on the couch and give her the whiskey dick.
Oh yeah,
And then like burp.
right. Like,
In
what
her
are you gonna
face,
get
like,
out
all,
of
like,
this?
Coke sweats. He's not even going to be able to finish. It's just
If
gonna
he
be
can even
like-
begin. He's just gonna go.
Right?
Maybe that's all she did. Is she's like, whatever. I don't want to drive. Like, let's go let him pass out, thinking he's about to
Well,
get
that's
laid.
what she tells him, like, or he tells her, like, oh, you can't drive. You've been drinking. And she was like,
She drove him
you need to
there.
shut the fuck up. Really? I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to.
Exactly. So she wakes up in his bed in the morning, but she's called for a cab, and the cabbie is Dick Miller, and he's out there honking all loud. And she's like,
Shut the
I say
fuck
don't
up.
fucking honk?
I'm trying to do a fucking walk of shame. I'm trying to fucking
and an Irish
sneak
goodbye
out.
at the same time. Like, I'm trying to just
Right?
get out of here. And then here he come
I'm
running
trying
out in
to
his
leave.
towel. He got a
And
nice
his
body.
sheets. Yeah, he
Or his
do. And
sheets all wrapped up in those buns. She
he's so
closes that sheet
tight.
in the door, and they drive off, and we get
Whoop,
some
them nalgas out
Dennis
like,
Quaid
oh my,
buns.
oh my.
I know. I hate that
Sitting
he's
there,
hot.
that little
I hate
close up.
it.
I broke my toe. I'm a mess. And
Yeah,
you know, whatever.
she's like,
Like,
"Bye."
you can't leave me. She's like, I can't do this
Mm-hmm.
anymore. She's like, will you please drive?
Right? Get out of here.
Do you not see what's happening here? You're allowing this naked man
To harass me in the street,
to continue
please.
to harass me. I have mascara running down my face. I look like I'm not wearing shoes.
Does this look fun
My
for me,
hair-
sir?
I know. I'm like all wet. My hair is so crisp.
So cut to Silicon Valley 2 months later. And Jack is at the doctor. So we meet Jack, Martin Short. And he thinks
and I was like, he's probably got a brain cloud.
Right.
If we just were to look a little further. I don't know why the doctor didn't diagnose it. I could see it from here.
And this was my first note where I was like, very Joe Banks vibes. Like his whole, he thinks something's wrong with him. The doctor's like, nothing's wrong with you. You just need some rest. You need to take a vacation. And I'm like, oh shit, is someone going to talk him into being a science experiment right now?
Yes, that's what I thought. Because in my mind, again, he was a part of this whole situation. I was like, wait a minute, he doesn't work with him or for them or like whatever.
No. And he doesn't have vacation money because he spends it all at the doctor, just like Joe.
Weird.
But so he's prescribed no excitement. So now,
yes,
cut to these dudes discussing Tuck Pendleton being crazy enough to do some crazy experiment. And and who were those? Was it the news guys or no? That was like the guys who work on the project.
It's just it's all the people in this lab. Like they all get together. Like he's gonna do it, guys.
And,
like it's
and his old buddy
thing.
Pete's there, and he hears who it is, and he's trying to tell these guys like,
he's like, oh,
this is a liability.
Because he's on his way.
Yeah,
he's not actually there.
No,
they're starting
they're
all
just
of
telling
this before
him.
Pete even gets there, but he's on his way, and he's like, oh my goodness, this guy.
This is a loose cannon.
Are you sure that you want to send him into whatever the fuck it is that you're doing? Like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Of course he did, because he was probably ordered to do so.
He wants one of them trophies. When his girl left, so he's like, whatever. What am I doing? Let me be a hero or whatever.
I guess.
I don't know. So cut to him slapping himself in the mirror at the test lab. And they're like, you okay, bro? They're videotaping him.
They're like documenting this whole thing. He walks by, smooches that one gal.
I know, all the ladies are like swooning as he walks by. Like he takes a picture with one.
Girl, you saw him. I saw him.
Maybe they
he
seen
could
the
die.
buns.
He could die. They saw his scans, like his body scans. They were like, They looked at all his stats. They were like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's a virile, stable man.
And you see this rabbit's all hooked up to electrodes. And you're like, oh, okay. So
there's the wascally wabbit.
You figure, all right, so this is now. But then I'm confused because in my mind, he goes into Martin Short. So I'm like, why is there even a rabbit? I don't remember anything about there ever having been. The plan was to put him in a rabbit.
None of that was familiar to me. All of that is just completely, I mean, it's there now because I just watched it.
But no recollection of that.
Did not register as something I had seen before. It was all new to me.
So they wish him luck. He gets into this like submersible kind of vehicle thing. They drop him down this little, into this like gold. It's like gold bubble wrap room or something.
Yeah, it's like a thing that you would see on like moon rovers and like space shit, right? Like that's what it looks like. Innerspace shit.
And the doctor's like explaining all the sciencey stuff to the video camera, but that's like not the central focus. So I did not even pay attention to all of the shit.
No, I was just like blah blah blah, whatever, nerd. Come on.
but I do love a science montage, whatever, like these science scenes that I don't understand, where all
like
of the shit starts happening.
Pushed, and I like the little lights coming
on. Robot
and
arm. I'm like, oh, what's going on?
And they're like, oh, 5,
activate
4,
centrifuge.
3. I like a countdown.
Oh, and all
like
the spinning. Did they really put Dennis Quaid in something and spin him like that?
No, because his face would have gone like.
He did look like he was going to
puke. His face would have changed. He did, but that's acting, bitch. He's an actor.
So then there's like a blast of energy and light, and the ship is gone. And it's inside this hypodermic needle.
Oh,
it gets sucked up.
So meanwhile, while all this is going on,
yes,
the phone people come.
Right, to the front door of this lab or whatever.
Right, but only, oh shit, it's not the fucking phone people. They're like,
it takes a while for you to figure out who the fuck are these people and what do they want.
I know. Like, wait, who is your daddy and what do you do? I know, like, what is going?
Because they come in.
Is this going on somewhere else? Like, again, because none of this came to my recollection.
Because it's all just science stuff for now. Like, there's been no hint of that there's going to be any dark plot against this science experiment.
No. I mean, like, the ramifications, sure.
But that's not, they're not here to stop it, you figure out. But so they're, while the doctor's, like, carefully taking the vial off or whatever, these dudes are breaking into the lab, roughing everybody up. I think they kill a couple
Gassing
people.
Yeah, well,
Didn't they shoot the security guard or no? Or maybe it was
maybe.
like
They
a
probably
dart
did.
or something. I don't know.
You got a fucking dart in your neck.
Fucking dirt in your neck. And then the one unveils themselves, and it's this beautiful redhead, Dr.
Ooh,
Canker.
it's a lady terrorist. She
the
like takes that
leader.
hair.
And now,
that hair
and
out and
I wanna
shakes it
see
out
you.
that
I don't know
trail.
if you ever see their lab, but she's like, "Oh, this is primitive, very primitive." And I'm like,
I feel like
primitive.
you do when they are at the end when they shrink the other guy. I think that's
I
at
thought
their
that was
lab
back
when they
at
like.
this lab because that's where
No, I think that's their space.
I don't remember. Well, maybe I'll have a note when it gets.
Why
to the
would
end.
they like build their own fucking thing and then take it over?
No,
to a
no,
different
like
lab?
that they went back to that same lab to get him out of
no.
them because it was his guys at the end that were helping him. It wasn't their people.
I feel like that was their lab. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that one seemed like it was a bigger space and it wasn't wrapped
Yeah,
in
I don't
foil.
remember. I don't remember the space itself.
It wasn't wrapped
Well,
in
and it wasn't.
foil.
He didn't have to go in there because they weren't shrinkifying him; they were enlarging him, and so he was,
Embiggening him?
Yeah. So he just got
maybe.
sneezed out and put in a different thing to get big. But I feel like
I
that
don't
was because
know.
that was their lab guys that he sneezed on.
Oh, well, that was later when he's
You're talking about because I'm talking about the end when they make him big again.
No.
That's at their
Yes,
lab.
when they make him big again, that is
Okay.
their lab. But when they go to like tuck out of him and put the other guy
okay,
in
maybe that
him,
was the
I
bad
think
guy's
that
lab.
is the bad guy's lab.
Okay. So yeah, so they come in, they insult their equipment. They
Right? Like they're punching all their buttons and they're fucking checking all their shit out. And here go
Igoe with his
Ozzy is
snap-on
like,
hand too.
Oh
out
my
there
God.
waiting in the car.
Right, he's got little bits. He's like, is he a robot?
I think it's just
Or is it
the
just his
arm.
hands?
I think it's just the arm. I don't know.
Is he like Inspector Gadget? He's Dr. Claw.
I totally thought that because of the hand and the suit and stuff.
Yeah, I don't. And also, it was giving me like Terminator.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
was also very Terminator.
So yeah, they find Dr. Ozzy hiding with his vial, and he's like, "What the hell?" He knows her. He's like,
Right, like what are you
Margaret?
doing here?
What's
Like what's
happening?
going on? She's like, oh, by the way, I'm evil.
"Yeah."
And like there's a whole other application for what you're doing here, and I'm gonna go do terrorist shit with it and get lots of
We
money.
need that syringe. Yes, and Tuck's
And
in
I
there
need
getting
that
all
syringe.
jostled around
He's
like,
like,
"Hello."
Right. He's like, what's happening? And it's interesting that he would register inside the
Because
syringe.
it's so well, yeah, because
he's
he's so tiny in there.
small. Because you can't see him.
Right. It's just a speck in there.
And he's got to go through a needle.
right.
So he's got to be like really very small. So small.
He was really jostling that needle.
I mean, I guess so.
no
So
idea.
he takes it and he runs off and he makes his escape
Yes.
best he can. He's like stealing bikes,
Yeah, he steals
He's
a kid's bike. He crashes it
running
into a
off.
car.
Like Igoe is chasing him in the Mercedes.
They go to the Santa
or no, the
Clarita
Beamer.
Fashion Center.
Yes, which is the was the Northridge Mall.
Okay.
I think on the outside and on the inside it's like the Sherman Oaks Galleria, which isn't that where also T2
Something was
took
at the
place, I
Sherman
feel
Oaks
like?
Galleria. That sounds familiar.
something was. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was like Fast Times. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
That could also
So
be, yeah.
He's like running, trying to escape. Igoe or whatever.
They
the
never
fuck.
really say
Snap-on.
his name, yeah.
I was calling him Snap-on through most of it because that's what his license plate says. Like he's real subtle. He's got that walk, that look, that whole fucking thing in the car that he's like double parking right outside, like he don't give a fuck, and he's stalking this guy through a mall.
Yes.
And nobody notices that he looks like a Terminator.
Right? And then
Whatever.
Jack's
And he
in there booking
almost-
his non-exciting vacation.
Right. He's at a travel agent inside a mall, bless him. And he's like, no, I can't have excitement. I need to have like a relaxing
So who knows where his vacation was going to be to?
vacation
ever
to
says.
the island of Waponi Woo.
Oh God, it could have been.
So Ozzy's trying to escape.
Igoe does
Igoe
his
is about
gun
to follow-
finger.
He almost takes like a kid's head off.
Yeah, he pops a balloon
Across the fucking
above
mall.
this kid's head to shoot the doctor.
Right. And he gets hit. He gets in the elevator and he comes up in the elevator. And as the doors open, there's
Jack. Yep.
waiting. And he's like, well, fuck. The only thing I can do is inject my buddy
To this dude's
into
ass
Jack's
and hope
ass.
for the best.
Right, and just cross my fingers that well, at least they're not going to get this
Right.
piece of the technology because that's what they're after. I mean, when all hope is lost, I suppose you do what you must do. So, meanwhile, Jack's standing there like, what?
Just rubbing his ass like, what happened?
Ozzy stumbles over and dies in the arms of the mall mascots, which I swear that that alligator one looked like the one from Crybaby when they go to the amusement park, the theme park. And they had the drapes were all disguised in the mascot costumes, and I swear at least the alligator was like, that looks like the same one.
Maybe
it was
John Waters found
California,
it just laying
no
in a
fucking way.
Costume warehouse somewhere and was like, sure.
It could have been. I suppose it could have been. I suppose it's not out of the realm of possibility.
So he drops the needle and Snap-on sees and like there was nothing in that. Like that was an empty needle. So he immediately looks over and notices this dude rubbing his ass and is like,
that's weird.
But he lets him go, so maybe it took him a minute.
Well, this guy comes through taking pictures.
Yes,
of this
so
whole
that distracts him,
situation.
I guess, because he's got to now clean up the scene. So he's going to snatch this dude's camera.
So
and
he's got to take those. He pops yet another balloon on the way out because he hates Joy and Pennywise.
Yes.
And off he goes to get these pictures developed. See, now he needs to find out more of what's going on.
And Tuck wakes up in like a sea of fat cells or something.
That's Jell-O.
Oh, it was Jell-O.
All of the cells and all of that shit floating around was made of Jell-O.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or gelatin, maybe not Jell-O proper.
And much like Look Who's Talking, these scenes are very, all of the body scenes, like they being in the vein and all that stuff. That I remember.
Yeah. That I 100% remember.
Stuck in
that
there.
was not a mystery to me. That one I definitely got. And I was like, okay, now I remember what's going on here. Now that he's inside a body.
Yes. Now it makes
this
sense.
looks familiar to me. None of
but
this
the whole
has
setup
up
was
until this
gone
point.
from my memory banks.
Nope. Absolutely wiped. Absolutely. It was like watching it for the first time.
Yeah. Kind of.
It was like watching it for the first time.
Like someone's described it to you, or you've seen clips, but you've never watched it.
Right. And that's exactly how it is. And I know I've seen this movie more than once. Everybody's mom thought Dennis Quaid was cute.
Right? So Jack shows up late to work. He works at a grocery store, and Henry Gibson's his boss.
Yes.
And Tuck is in there trying to figure out, like, trying to radio to mission control. Why isn't anybody answering me?
Why
he
can't
still has
I hear
He
anybody?
thinks he's in a rabbit, and he should have audio contact with the lab.
He's like, oh shit, like I can't figure out what's going on. So let me pop on up to the ear.
Right.
Or something. Or no, the eyeballs.
Yeah, first he gets ocular access or whatever where he can see out of his eyes.
Let me get up there. He gets like types in the coordinates because I guess this thing figures out
where in the
what
body,
kind of body it's in, and therefore will tell you how to get there. So it gives them directions to pop into like the bloodstream and head on up to the brain bits and then like cut your way out, I guess.
I know. It seemed like he fucked some shit up in there.
Haphazard to be chopping up, like when he almost hits that heart and he like cuts his way out.
Yes.
I'm like, is that not the
like
aorta?
Like a ventricle or some shit. Like I feel like you're not supposed to do that.
He didn't want to get into the ventricle. That was the whole point of like not getting through the tricuspid. But like I feel like he cut through a main vessel.
I mean, we have to remember
that
too how
to
tiny he is. Like we were talking about, he fits through the tip of a needle. So a cut big enough for a tip of a needle to fit through was not that big, but it looked fucking huge on the scale we were looking at it.
I feel like even to puncture.
Right, some of that stuff.
Like he might want to let him know, like, hey, I was in there and I had to cut around in your main.
And like he doesn't have any little, like a healing laser. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a thing where he can like turn around and stitch it up or something.
Yeah, a little cauterizing.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't give a shit because he was supposed to be in a rabbit.
They're like, we don't care. Whatever happens to
we
this
don't
rabbit.
care. You could fucking kill it.
So meanwhile, Jack is confronted with the lady from his nightmare. So earlier we skipped over because it didn't seem important until
he gets back to work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. And like he's trying to talk to Wendy, who's like, he goes, I've just had the weirdest fucking thing. She's like, oh really? Have you ever tried slam dancing? And he was like, is that where you were? Because we had a date.
Yes, he clearly has the hots for this
Last
girl,
night.
and she is not. She's like, whatever.
No.
Like, I don't care.
She's not at all interested, not whatsoever. So finally, he's confronted with this dream lady
who in his
that
dreams
she's
she
come
does
up a lot
exactly
of times.
yeah she does
too.
exactly what she does in his dreams, which is because what's his name, Tuck, is fucking with shit inside of him, and he like sends out an
Right.
electromagnetic pulse or something.
Or
He does something
yeah.
that makes the cash
Well,
register.
no, not until later.
No, that what makes the cash register start doing
Oh,
it
I
was
thought
part
that
of. I
was
think it's when he
just
tried to
his-
get his access to his eye or something. He like
Oh, maybe
he did a thing, and then all of a sudden, all the items started ringing up as way too expensive. And then she pulls that. Wait, I can't even read my own writing. Let's see. Did I write it specifically? What happened? Let's see.
Kathleen Freeman is her name.
Yes.
The dream lady, that woman. I was like, I know she's come up before.
Yeah, Tuck activates a booster that fucks up all the
Oh.
prices. So he is like trying to speed
Got
over
it.
to the ear or something. So when he
So
leaves the eye,
without knowing,
Yeah.
he's enacted his very same nightmare,
Yes.
right as this woman from his nightmare.
and she pulls out a little
shows up.
pistol, just like in his dream, only
He's
it's a
like,
lighter.
Oh no!
And
She
why is
lights
everyone
the cigarette.
yelling
I don't
at
have
him
time.
about
I
what the
don't-
register's doing? He's at hand
know.
typing in those prices.
No,
Your
like
scanner's
your register
broken.
is fucked.
Why is that his fault?
It's not.
So yeah, he freaks out and
not.
chewing a bunch of aspirin. Wendy's like slapping him super hard, trying to get his
I know, he's
attention.
like, oh, thank goodness, coffee. And she's
Oh,
like,
and
no,
this is so he hasn't even got to the optic yet, because that's where this happens. So this is where
Right,
Tuck
'cause-
begins his mission. So it was just the booster to get to the optic nerve was what caused the
Right.
thing. So
Okay,
now he
that's
goes to
what
the
it was. Mm-hmm.
optic nerve and lasers a hole in something in his eye, and I'm like, oh my god! Or no, to get into the bloodstream, just like lasers a
Right.
hole in a vein and hops on a bloodstream with all the
Yep,
blood cells.
Yep.
And
All the Jello blood cells.
his Jack's boss is trying to give him a pep talk in the back of the store.
right, he's like, you've been like a son to me, but like, it would.
Does he
really
not say
suck
he's his
if you
nephew?
went crazy. Or no, he was like, you've been like a son
Or
to
a
me.
nephew.
Well, like a nephew at least,
Yeah.
or or something like maybe not a son,
Yes.
but they're not related.
And this is when Jack's eye starts to twitch, and Tuck's like firing optic sensor, and it like he can feel like a
Clasps into the back of his eye.
he's screaming and holding his eye, and he's like, "Oh, now I can see." And now he's like, "Wait a
no.
minute, I'm not in a rabbit anymore."
Who are these people? Who is that? Why is Bugs standing up? What is fucking happening here? And he's like, I'm in a man.
A strange,
I'm in a strange man.
So Jack's boss sends him like, "You go ahead and start your vacation right now." And he's like, "Okay, let me just phone my doctor first." So
and
that's when he heads to
Snap-on
the
has
ear.
now, right. He
is at
goes
that
over
point.
to try to figure out what's going on there. To like, I gotta talk to this person.
Yes.
So Igoe has gotten those pictures developed and takes it to Dr. Canker.
Yes,
And
and
she
she
sees
sends
it. Like,
him to go
luckily,
find-
it's
yeah.
a picture of the whole sequence, so they can see Ozzy coming out
Right.
of the elevator, Ozzy putting the syringe in Jack Putter,
Mm-hmm.
his name tag with his name and where he works on it.
Right, they
and
know
everything.
exactly
She's
where
like,
to
oh, well,
find
now you
him.
can, go find him,
So I'm trying to think if it's because it's already almost break time. I'm like, is this going to be a double breaker for Innerspace? Because we're
For
not anywhere
Innerspace,
near
there's so
halfway
much
through,
to
but we're like
fucking-
30-something
I
minutes in
know.
already.
I know. Well,
Well, we might have to do it to you guys.
we you fucking love,
We love some
it.
Innerspace. But yeah, so
I
we'll
know.
take a.
Apparently we do, but we don't remember any of it, so I don't know.
So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Okay, we will.
And we're back.
We're back and we're making our way to the ear.
This reminds me of when I was a little kid. I went to Georgia for the summer, and then we went to like the Human Body Museum, and you walked
Ooh.
through like there was a giant ear and a nose and whatever. And
That's cool.
And I feel like, in fact, 1987 was the year that I went and did that.
That
I was
you
7
did it?
years old. Yeah.
No wonder Innerspace made
That
such
summer.
an impression on you.
And why only the body parts, the inside the body parts
Right?
stayed,
Because
because I had
that's
it double.
really what stuck out the very,
Yeah.
very most was all of that shit.
And he clamps a little like amplifier to the inside of his ear, and he's headed into the doctor when he hears in the elevator someone talking to him.
And he's like, are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
And everyone's looking at him like, okay.
No.
So now he won't speak to him. He's just like sitting in the waiting room with Joe Flaherty and Andrea Martin. And he's like, do you hear that? And they're like,
no. He's like, it's me. I'm here. I'm inside of you. I'm inside your body.
Somebody help me. I'm possessed. And so the doctor rules like, no demonic possession. I think you're good. And what was the reason that he tells him how he knows he's not possessed? Because a demon talks through you, not to you, or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I kind of like this doctor.
He's very chill.
Like, I don't know, like, you know, maybe you could find an exorcism, but like then you would have to do all of this stuff that's terrible, or we could just, you know, take a look and see what's up. And then he like shines a little light into his ear and
blinds Turk.
He's blinded by the light and revved up like a
douche. And so he tells him you're having, what did he call it? Theistic hysteria.
Right. Like because that's what he's like, oh my God, it's the voice. Like I hear God or something like that. Because that's what he's like, I hear a voice. It's talking about God. And he was like, oh, you're having a theistic hysteria. And he was like, well, if we did what we used to do, it would be like flay the skin off of you and like burn you at the stake. But I don't want to do that just yet. So I'm just going to send you home and relax. Like you need to chill out. Like obviously this is just your stress.
And apparently like he got blinded so hard he went silent for the whole entire ride home. Like why was he not talking?
Right? Was he like knocked unconscious by the brightness of the light? Because when he comes back, he's already home. Yeah. He's like, oh, I can see again.
He's almost relaxed. So yeah, when he suddenly yells, he can see again. And he's like,
what the fuck? He's like, I can't hear you. I'm watching the TV. Like, this isn't happening.
And he like hits that booster again and like blasts the TV with like a pulse, which dick move,
throws I know. Like it throws the fucking remote, breaks his window, catches his TV on fire.
He destroys
It's like a whole situation. So then a delivery man, is this when the delivery man... Or no, first he talks to him. Like, we need to talk about...
Oh, yeah, because he's like, what do you know about miniaturization? And he's like, what? And he's like, oh, great, you're not even part of the project. He's like,
wonderful. What project? Like, what are you even fucking talking about? Like, he goes, oh, I was shrunk down and put into a syringe, and somehow I ended up in you. And he was like, oh, my butt.
Oh, my butt.
Oh, my buns.
And
I remember now.
The messenger comes with like a VHS and his cruise tickets. And
right.
He like wants to use the phone. Don't let the delivery man use.
I know.
I mean, this was pre-cell phone.
Well, that's also true, but he's also not a woman like that. He would just let,
of course,
just somebody into their apartment.
Well, and he doesn't know there's a whole plot, and neither does Turk yet. As far as he knows, there's just some accidental thing happened.
Plot or not, you're not coming into my fucking house.
Yeah, yeah. And Turk realizes right away. He's like, don't trust this guy. Don't trust this guy.
I don't know. I don't like it. Because he's like, oh, so like...
He starts asking too much.
Is your roommate here? Yes. Is this, that, whatever? And he was like, I don't, you need to get out of there. Like right now. You need to run now. And he pulls a gun.
Yes.
Because obviously he's there to collect him.
And they start struggling over it. And Turk starts telling Jack like how to fight and escape. Like giving him tips or whatever from inside.
Right.
And he's like, whoa, buddy,
like,
you gotta calm down.
Nuts, do this.
Like I'm rushing straight to your heart right now.
Straight through his pulse rate is way too high.
And was he not last in the ear?
I don't know how he ended up back in his bloodstream. Is it when he got did he get knocked back in there or something? Because he got knocked around a little bit.
I don't
know. But he ends up back in the bloodstream. He's going way too fucking fast. Cardiac arrest is imminent.
And he hooks in and reels himself away from the valves of the heart.
Like it's all stretching and tearing away from the main vessel,
and he cuts
to the tricuspid
in the side to get out, and just
lasers him. Well, first he hooks into the side, which could also cause a big old gnarly tear in his main drain.
He's not a doctor; he's a test pilot.
Well, damn it, Jim.
I'm not a doctor. Oh wait,
I'm not a doctor.
It should be I'm not a test pilot. I'm a doctor, but nope.
It's the other way around. So
he sends Jack back to the lab.
Yes,
to
he's we gotta go
where I came from, and they're all fascinated by him. Like, what? They he's in you.
Yeah,
they,
they can hear. he talks to Pete, is like, oh, so what is, he can hear me right now? Like, yeah, he can hear you. And he was like, okay, well, you wait here and we got to go talk out in the hallway. So
but he can
Pete
hear
and
that
Dr.
shit
Niles,
too.
well, he's like, you know what? Go get closer to where they're at. And I'm going to do a little thing and see if I can listen. And they're just like, well, there's nothing we could fucking do about this because the chip was stolen.
Right, we can't
And he's got
embiggen
until
him.
like 9 a.m. tomorrow before the air runs out.
Yes.
So like nothing we could really do.
And he's like, can't you just breathe from my lungs? And he's like, no, it doesn't work like that.
No, it really doesn't. So Tuck tells Jack to go to where his locker.
And he gets his
and
jacket
shit
and car
is.
keys.
And he's like, you need to leave now. Like, you need to run. We got to find help.
Unless you want
somewhere
a
else.
tiny submersible with a skeleton floating
And
around
he
in your
was like,
guts.
why should I help you? He's like, well, then you'll have this thing floating around you forever with a tiny little skeleton. And he's like, ooh.
That is pretty creepy. He's going to haunt your guts.
I know.
So he takes off in this classic hot rod and drives it very badly. Turk's like,
I know.
the
He's
clutch."
like, it's a 5-gear, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Dang. There's horses under there, baby. This isn't a Hyundai.
And the science guys come back to discover they're missing. Like, oh, fuck. Like, they
Oh,
bailed.
God damn it. Whoopsie doodle. So they go to Tuck's shitty apartment. Mm-hmm. He's like, it's user friendly. Like, no, it's not.
It's trash.
I mean, I guess unless you're the user,
Yeah.
you know where everything is. Well, you know where everything is. It's out.
And now once they're all settled at his place, he's like, he wants a drink.
Right. And I didn't at first, because again, so much of this is gone from my memory. I didn't get at first. I was like, so what? He has to like drink and absorb it into his bloodstream so that
Until he
can feel
did
the-
it, I didn't know what
No,
was coming.
yeah,
I was like,
until,
why does he need to
how
drink?
is this
How's
supposed
gonna
to happen?
But he has a little empty flask in his pocket.
that he sticks out.
That he
the
sticks
little
out with the little
porthole.
robot arm in
He
his
gets up
esophagus.
in his throat.
Yeah, and as he
Yes.
takes a swig, he just catches this like.
Come on, lucky flask.
We
Like,
just
he took
touched
his
the whole
flask.
inside of his mouth and throat now.
I mean, it's alcohol.
You're an
It's-
alcoholic. That's I guess.
Well, he's
just
got
get it how
bottles
you can.
stashed all over the fucking. He took his flask with him. I'm surprised, even though it was supposed to be a short trip into the body of a rabbit, that he didn't already have liquor in his lucky
I'm wondering,
flask.
would he carry it without it? Which means, did he, from the time he woke up in there, has he been consistently
He
swinging
was
out
just
of that
blackout
flask?
drunk.
He
It
already
wasn't that
drank
he
it
was
all?
blind. He had drunken himself.
Exactly. He was
Come
already
on.
so drunk, and then when that light hit him, he just went unconscious.
Could be. Could be.
So yeah, so he gets his little. They have a drink to Dr. Ozzy, and Martin Short just starts
Just Ed
fucking
Grimley dances
Yes.
all through this apartment.
Let the good times roll,
Right. He's just like, oh,
twisting
that
the
was
night
good.
away.
I feel,
dancing,
I feel good about
And
this.
these are the
you know,
only
whatever.
parts of this movie that are funny. So in my memory, this is a
Sure.
full-on comedy. But this is the
Right.
first funny thing that happened was like when he got his reflexes checked at the doctor and he like kicked that tray. It's all physical comedy.
Right,
stuff.
like it's Martin Short's physical comedy
Yeah.
that like it's very sparingly used, really.
yeah, it's not
Throughout
over the
whole
top.
thing. Like Robert Picardo is funny.
Yeah, that's true. Robert Picardo.
You
is
know what
funny.
I mean? Like that kind of thing, but it's not the like the nonstop comedy in my memory
This
that it always was.
and this is the moment that in my notes I wrote, "Oh my God, is there a son named for this character?" Because I think it was the beginning of this little friendship with him and Martin
Right.
Short, where like they were starting to
He was like, "Oh,
hang
go
out, and I'm
look
like,
in the
"Oh my
mirror. I
God,
don't
does
even
he
know-
have?" Yeah, and he like looks at him.
I don't even know what you look like from the outside. I only know what your insides look like." And I didn't get to that point until the wedding at the very, very end. I was like, "Oh,
Wait a minute.
wait,
Is
is that why?" Yeah, no, it took me much longer than you. You got it way sooner than I did.
So yeah, Jack sees a picture of Tuck in the apartment after he sees him in the mirror or whatever.
Right, like, oh, that's what you look like. And then
When he sees him, he's
also-
like, "Oh, we're gonna need some help."
right. And he also mentions he sees the picture of Lydia. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, like, who's this? He's like, oh, never mind about that shit.
Who is
pop,
this
pop, pop, pop,
crispy-haired diva?
pop. I know. Who is this crispy-haired angel I see before me? You could hear her
the
coming.
sound.
Sounds like corduroy pants.
But it's just her hair rubbing against each other.
It's like cricket legs.
So now he needs him to sober himself up because he's got to drive.
Right. Can you drive? Like he just had. Well, he said he didn't drink, so
Yeah. So time
perhaps
for
that
espionage in Silicon Valley.
Yes.
And now Lydia's in the newsroom.
She's at her
which
desk,
we didn't
like-
even, I don't think, ever know she worked for the paper
No.
until this moment.
No,
She's
but
a
she's
reporter.
investigating the murder of Ozzy at this mall. Like it was this whole big thing. She knows the most about it. And I didn't notice, but I did see, well, now I'll bring it up later. Now it's a spoiler.
And she knows who the cowboy is. She gets like a
Right,
tip. The
she's
cowboy's
waiting for him.
coming, and she's like, "Oh shit, the cowboy's
if there's some
coming."
shit,
He's like a
if
known
he's gonna be
entity.
in town,
He's a
and if
fence.
he's in
She
town,
says.
yeah, then there's some shit going down, and I want to be a part of it because it all has something to do with this murder
yeah.
and this science and all of this shit. Like we need to get on that because no one's covering it.
So cowboy's on the plane on his way, and he goes to light a cigar, and the flight attendant's like, "Oh, you can't smoke that," and he like
Puts it out on his palm.
on his palm, nothing like a good cigar. And I don't know what this accent is he's
I
doing,
don't
where he's
either.
supposed to be from.
I don't know. It's like his homage to Ricardo Montalban.
I was going to say something Spanish or European or like a combination, like a
Something.
transcontinental
right?
mixture.
And right behind him for a second, you can see Arthur Killer Kane from the New York Dolls. Is sitting right
Oh,
behind
I did
him.
not even notice. So Turk leads Jack to Lydia. And she's like, she notices like, wait, why are you wearing Turk's jacket
Well,
and you're
she
driving his
sees-
car?
He's driving down the street and Tuck can see out of the corner of Jack's eye. She's walking down the street and he's like, hey, that's her over there. And then she sees this guy driving
Yes.
his car wearing his jacket. She's like, do you know? Does he know?
Yeah, she's trying to question
you
him
have
and
his
he's like,
car?
Lydia, shut up. Because he's telling him what to say, like how to talk to
He
her.
was like, oh, you said it good.
Lydia, shut up and listen. So he's
Right.
like, Tuck's in trouble. He needs your help. So they go to lunch. And these shoulder pads,
Right.
girl, that was 4 shoulder
I
pads in each fucking
know.
arm.
I know. You know what? That was like football.
I was
equipment
just about to say
that
she's
she
ready
had
to go
under there. That was
play football.
beyond. That was beyond a shoulder pad. That was like shoulder pads.
And girl still ain't washed that hair. That's still
nope,
she doesn't need to.
nope. She doesn't. It's just
It's like if you
It's
put
just-
resin or whatever, like if you just made it forever
Right?
crisp until you
It's
shaved
lacquered.
your head. Yes,
It is
lacquered.
lacquered. She doesn't need. It's just in bits. You touch it, it cut you.
So he's telling Jack from inside, like, you need to be mean. Just tell her this, that, whatever. She's like, just trust
Right,
me.
yeah.
We only have till 9 a.m. So she wants to know because he's led her to believe Tuck is being held somewhere. And
Right.
She's like, where's he
well,
being
who
held?
has him? Yeah.
And he's
where
all in
is he
the
being held? Who has-
immediate area. And yeah,
In my
who has
guts.
him? And he's like, I don't know. I'll be right back.
I don't know. Yeah. Like I gotta go. So he goes to the bathroom to like have a conversation.
but it looks
with
like he's
Tuck.
talking to his ween.
It does. And does he not still see through his eyes? He's looking
He's
down
looking
like, hey,
at
look
his
at my
dick. Like,
dick.
can you just tell? Like, just look at the wall.
The
bro.
guy next to him is like, you don't need to talk to it.
Please don't. Yes.
Don't talk to it. We don't talk to it here.
So yeah, he wants to tell her the truth, and he's like, "No, I don't think that's a good idea."
Right.
And then he gets grabbed by Mr. Snap-on.
Right. He's in there and she like from across the way, he's walking
Yeah,
back
coming
in.
back.
And he gets snatched right up off the
But she has
his
a
feet.
taser.
20,000 volts that she's sitting there aiming at him with Jack being a full-on human shield.
Yes.
Like, unless you're going for his fucking forehead,
right.
why would you think that you were going to hit anything else?
So
but
yeah,
Jack?
she hits Jack. He passes out.
And it like fries all the shit inside the pod
Yes.
too. Like,
and
isn't it
Igoe
like
just picks him up and throws him over his shoulder.
He's like, hey, thanks. You gave me a non-struggling body to carry out of here. He's so wee. It's easy.
And now his car was towed because he always be double parking.
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, you did not think that shit through. You came out of here after fucking kidnapping somebody. You're like, oh, fuck.
My car's gone.
Now my car's been towed. Like, now you're going to have to go pick it up later because he has it later.
Yes.
So that
he
means
got it.
Ivo went down to the tow yard, paid the fine.
Or just killed a guy. and took
Maybe
his car
he
back.
might have. Actually, you know what?
So he
Never
steals a
mind.
refrigerated truck and throws
Yes.
Jack in the back. And Lydia takes chase, and Jack wakes up in the back freezing.
Right.
So now Mr. Scrimshaw, and this guy, I remember him from UHF, that he was the guy that owned the other station that was like a total asshole, who was like Zombie's
yes.
dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, I remember him as the guy that Blanche Devereaux almost married,
Oh,
but then
God.
he ended up having 2 small children, and she was like,
What? You're 80.
You want a fucking like nanny for these children, and
Ain't gonna
I'm
be
not
me.
gonna do that. Yeah, ain't gonna be me. And then she like goes to leave him, but they were on his private jet, and she's like, I can't leave.
Oh no. And he's got, so now what, his license plate is Sub-Zero,
Yes.
and they're in a refrigerated
everything
truck,
is white.
and everything is white. Like, does he works for the shrinking business, right? What, like, does it ever exactly
think
say what
that's-
he wants the fucking
No.
shrinker for?
I think it's just his zhuzh. Like he just wants to like
This is
get
just
money.
his, yeah, this is just his
Well, because that's
thing.
what he says. It's all just, but like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just getting paid for this. Whoever pays me the most can have it. I don't give a fuck what they do with it.
Yeah. So they deliver Jack to this guy, and Dr. Canker is called in to examine Jack.
She's going to give him a handy J to warm him up.
Right? She's, I know how to warm you up. Like, what is,
And he's like,
ma'am?
no, bitch. Like,
Ma'am.
you need to get back in the Sub-Zero, and I'm going to roll in the back of this refrigerated truck with my
fur.
hostage.
Just as
I
a
put my fur-
reason
it's
to
cold.
fucking put on this fur is, you know what?
I
It's
just
warm out.
wanted to. I know,
I need an
and I want to get in the
excuse.
back. My name is Sub-Zero. I'm like,
You
this
guys,
is my
my
whole
cat
aesthetic.
just got
I
on my
can't.
lap and is rubbing her
What
head on the
is she
microphone. You've never
doing?
done this before. Get down.
She's so
Please. What are
antisocial,
you
and she's so
doing?
up in the
You
mix
can't-
right now.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right.
Oh, I saw the tail.
Just fly up in my face. Anyway,
So he's in there with these fucking stories.
Yes.
Like, what do you want to do? Lick me, fuck me,
Yes.
shoot me, whatever. Just shut up.
and this is as close as we get to an explanation where he talks to him about nuclear weapons and space, and that miniaturization
Right.
is the ticket, and that
Right.
he's only in
Everybody
it
has
for
a
the
nuke.
money. So
Everybody-
he's just
Exactly.
whatever.
He doesn't care what they do with it. He just wants to get paid.
Yes.
And buy more furs and more white cars and more weird lofts where his office is just the one.
That was
tiny
so
corner
weird.
of
I
it.
had a note about that too. Like, why is only one part of this giant loft a clean little
I
nice
know.
office, and the rest is just like concrete? What the fuck?
I need another Malamute for my desk.
It's so strange. So Tuck tries to psych him up. Like, you got to jump. You're gonna have to jump out this door. You're gonna have to
Right.
jump out.
You got to jump out there. Like, can you see yourself jumping out of the door? Can you can see yourself doing it? Like, you need to run and jump and straight and get out of there. And he starts doing like a Buddhist chant to get him all riled up.
And thankfully,
it.
Lydia is tailing them, because I don't know what the plan
Right?
was if she
I don't
wasn't
know
right
what
there
would've
with
happened.
the car.
I don't know.
And Igoe can't hear
'Cause-
any of this because he's got his Walkman on.
His Walkman listening to industrial music.
Yeah, so he has no idea all this shit's happening in the back. So and it's this whole prolonged, so he doesn't just get in the car. It's this whole like,
No, it's like this.
He's hanging off the
dangling
door.
Off the side. To be fair, he's like dealing with Scrimshaw, and he keeps having
but does
to
Scrimshaw
kick
even
him,
have a
and
weapon?
No, but he keeps grabbing him or whatever, and he keeps having to kick him because he's trying to pull him back in the truck.
But he's like standing on
So
the
he-
hood. He's standing on like the top of the window. He's
he
like
just
between
like he's
two
like
vehicles.
surfs the
Yes.
side. She keeps having to move. They're like, jump into the
car.
fucking convertible. Do it now.
Yes. So he
So,
finally
yes.
plops in the car, and Lydia takes him to wait for the cowboy outside this hotel, because she's like, he'll lead us to
Straight
this chip.
to her own. Yeah, like if there's a chip to be had, he's gonna know where we can find it. So if we need it, this is the guy to go to. So they're gonna check in to this hotel
Yes.
so that they can follow him when he goes out at night, because he always goes out at night. He doesn't sleep.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh, there's a suitcase in the trunk. I know there is, because
Tuck
Tuck
keeps
keeps
it
it
there,
there,
yeah.
in case he wakes up in an unfamiliar place." He's like,
Tucks
"Oh, she
inside like,
knows
oh
about-
no.
she knows about the suitcase." Like that's
Pretty bad.
some pretty
When
bad
you're
behavior.
pre-planning your fucking blackouts, like, because you just don't know.
Yeah,
it's happened
because you
enough
know
times
that,
that you're
yeah,
like,
you don't know when it's gonna happen, but you know it is gonna happen.
I'm either gonna shit myself, puke on myself, black out in a puddle somewhere, wake up where I don't
Right.
know where I am. Like, I definitely
right.
need a change of
I need
clothes.
a
and-
fucking case of my shame that I need to carry along with me.
So Scrimshaw calls Margaret to get him that chip, but she's busy with Igoe, who she's apparently fucking. And because he's
Right?
putting on some
What
special
kind of-
attachments, you don't see what
I
they are.
was just gonna say, but he's got probably a whole array
Of dildo hands.
of snap-on Edward dildo hands.
Oh my God, we found him, you guys. It's the real Edward dildo hands.
He was here the whole time.
So yeah, you don't
the
see
whole time.
What, you get to leave it to your imagination of what kind of attachment this lady needs.
She needs to have her foot in a bear trap.
It ain't no Diane Weist plain nude vibrator.
She's got it is not the plain.
It's at the very
stiff,
least
long,
ribbed for her pleasure.
It's probably for like the DVDA. Double vaginal, double anal.
Right? It's like it's got so many things. It's like an octopus fucking tentacles. Oh my god! It's or one of those monster dildos they make.
Oh,
it's like Godzilla's dick, or dragon dick or whatever.
Oh man, like that's
you people be freaks.
That's something else.
We don't kink shame, but shame on you. No, as long as you're not doing the ovipositor, the one that drops eggs into you.
You know what? Even if you're doing the
good for
ovipositor,
you,
just
I
keep
guess,
that
but don't
shit
tell
to
me about
yourself.
it.
No,
Just
I
don't tell me
know.
about it.
Keep that shit to yourself. Actually, no, I don't want to know about it. Never mind.
If I was like,
I almost let the curiosity get the best of me.
I have a confession.
No. Oh no.
See, you don't want to know about it.
I don't.
So now the cowboys.
Like, you got to tell me privately.
The cowboy's in his room trying on his many sets of cowboy boots.
Oh, he has gone shopping. He's new boot goofing.
He sure is.
He is new boot goofing in this hotel room. He has bought. They have to be expensive boots, right? Because those are like loud,
yes,
and animal skinned, and
those
special
are custom shit. Yeah,
those are custom shit. So he's trying all of these things on.
And Lydia has tipped the desk clerk, so they're standing outside the door listening because they know exactly where his room is. Mm-hmm. And Tuck keeps checking that, they're seeing that Jack's checking out.
Right, he's like,
lady.
"Stop! I fucking my ex-girlfriend."
And he's like, "What'd you go and do?" No, he doesn't say anything, but he's
right.
Like, and
now he's at 60% oxygen in there. Like now the things are starting to set off little alarms. So Jack is in, like, he's trying on Tuck's clothes
because he's been wearing the same shit for like a day or whatever, and she comes in and like kind of stops, like, "Oh, that like, jacket's familiar."
I know, and like Tuck is telling him, like, she's not looking at you, she's looking at me, looking like you, like, you know what I mean, like this whole situation, like she doesn't like you, and he was like, "Shut up."
And he's telling him about his memory of their first date and whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then he got drunk and fell down a manhole.
So he's been like this the whole time.
The whole time.
Exactly. She knew what she was getting into. She was trying to.
I know.
She was looking for a fixer-upper.
Right.
She got tired of fixing.
Yes, because he was not to be fixed. I wonder if he ever did get fixed. I bet you he didn't.
No, probably not.
No. But it's very ambiguous. We'll find out.
So they follow the cowboy to the club,
Club Inferno.
And Wendy is in there from work.
She's in there all crimped up.
Yeah,
She's
she
like,
is.
shit.
Like literally crimped up, you guys. Like her hair.
What are you
was crimped.
doing here? Yeah, like she had got the crimping
and
iron
now she's
and
kind of
crimped her
excited by him because she's like, "Oh,
Right.
why are you at the cool club?"
I know. How did you get here in Club Inferno?
And he's ignoring her, which now she's even hotter because he's like,
I know. She's like, well, shit.
Lydia, they're following this
like,
guy.
Who's she?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how long have you been living this double life?
And the cowboy is in there dancing his ass off. He loves this
God,
shit.
he loves to dance.
American music.
He fucking loves it.
And Lydia dances with him.
Right. So she gets in there and she slides on in and they're doing the whole thing. And he, like, they sit down. He's like, "Women love me, but you know that."
And now this is where I have a note. So Tuck is inside eating a nugget. Where did that come from? Is there a microwave
I don't know if he
inside
like brought,
of the pod, or is this a cold
Why would
nugget?
he bring food? I don't know.
That was what it was. Was it not like a chicken nugget though?
That's what I thought. I don't know.
But it was so random.
Maybe it's
you just see
astronaut
him
food.
eat one nugget, and that's like the only time he eats.
Did he like pull it up out of Tuck's, like with like a little claw game?
He's like,
he
"Eat
pulls
some
up a
nuggets,
little
man."
bit of his.
He
He's
just
like, "I'm
held
so
his
fucking
little
hungry.
thing open. Give me a little piece of
I am
nugget.
so just give me a piece." He puts his little hand out there to get
His little robot hand is pinching for nuggets.
his little batteries not included
Oh
hands
my
out there
God.
stretched for a little piece of nugget. So he's like, "But for serious though,
Yeah.
2 things you got to know about me: I make love with my boots on." And then he whispers something that must be disgusting
Because,
in
yeah,
her
we
ear
don't get to
because
hear
she's
it.
like, "No, thank you." But she was like, "Okay, Jack, follow me to, like, we're going back to the hotel." Oh no, Jack and Wendy are dancing.
Yeah,
and
Wendy's
she's
still
asking
trying
about
to
his
get up on Jack, and she's talking
Right.
about, you're the only one in the store I haven't slept with. You slept
And
with
the
Henry
only one
Gibson?
I know.
I don't think Henry Gibson.
Yeah, I
swings
thought
way.
that was my immediately thought. I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure he's gay, but I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh no, I don't know.
If you remember his little laughing, a lot of his laughing personas were very effeminate.
Yes, were very.
When he did his little poems.
He
and
was
stuff.
like, "No, I'm just Southern."
That could also be true. He was just a little man and Southern.
Right? He was a little man. He was a little Southern, and we just thought he was gay.
But who knows? But anyway.
We could be wrong.
So yeah,
We could be
Lydia's
right.
waving him over. And she's talking about he's meeting with Scrimshaw, and she introduces Jack to the cowboy. And yeah, says
Right.
follow us. And Wendy's like, call me later.
And he's like, okay. She's like, well, yeah, follow us. We're going back. He's taking me back to the hotel.
Yeah.
So now Jack is in the car.
And he's telling Tuck, she deserves better than you and all this stuff.
I know.
They still barely had any conversation that did not relate to the whole situation that's happening. Jack, I know
No.
you're
now
hard
he's
up,
getting
but-
into his personal life. Now it's this whole situation. Well, he's involved his personal life, I guess,
Yeah.
by going to get Lydia, but still.
So they go and he kicks down the door and Cowboy's in there in his
Cowboy's in
briefs
his
because he
little
thinks Lydia's in there
chonies.
with her.
Right. He was like, come on in.
Yeah, he doesn't
He's like,
care.
why would you even knock? Come on in, whatever, we're partying. And then he hits him with a 2-piece.
And he's like, oh, Lydia's in her room next door. What are you
She's
doing?
like, I was next door. I was waiting for you to get back. What are you doing?
So they tie him up and put him in the bathtub. And this is this whole scene. Well, we're getting... I just want to make sure you tell the story of how they shot this.
Of all of the things. Yes. Hold on. Let me
But
bring
so
that up.
Tuck
because
maps
it's a
Cowboy's
situation.
face. He's like, I got an idea, whatever. Go look at him. So he has him go
Right.
look at him in the bathtub, and he scans his face, and he alters in his computer. And I don't know how this is even possible, or I doubt that it is.
I know, this
because
makes
his whole bone
absolutely
structure and
no
everything
fucking
would
sense.
have to
Yes,
change.
his eye color changes.
And you're telling me you don't have a laser to seal up a microscopic hole, but you can change this man's entire face to look like a different person?
And you were gonna do that with a rabbit?
I know. Why do you have that technology?
Why do you have that capability to do that shit with a rat? Well, I mean, I guess this would probably. Why bother doing it unless you were gonna do it to people?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
But this scene definitely stands out where he goes and looks in the mirror and his face starts to. He's doing all these.
Yes.
He's making all.
It's the air blown
Yes.
and his lips or whatever to puff it out. This part, the face
changing into Cowboy.
changing or whatever. I remember. No, not even that he
Oh, he
changed it
didn't?
to Cowboy. No, just the whatever. No, not
I
that he
remember
changed into
Cowboy's face in my mind. I didn't remember a lot of the
Nope.
other stuff about what type of person Cowboy was, but I remembered the face
Nope.
change thing.
No.
So yeah, so now he
was
looks
wiped
like
from my
Cowboy, but
memory.
with Martin Short's hair, which is so
Right.
funny. And so how did
Lydia's
they film
at the door?
this, you
What
said?
the fuck is going on? So the first time Robert Picardo goes off screen in this moment, he's actually rushing behind the camera, tearing off his breakaway clothes. That was the suit that Martin Short was wearing, and getting into the bathtub. Meanwhile, a stand-in moves into frame from the left to a scene from the back, and a makeup assistant is behind a fake wall at the head of the bath, having just changed the putter wig to the cowboy wig.
Wow.
So, and then during the meeting, Picardo's voice is overdubbed with Martin Short's, and during the meeting, Picardo used his own voice with a Short-esque lilt.
Okay.
They were like, do the cowboy, but like Martin Short would do it.
Yeah, that's so weird.
It's wild. So yeah, and yes, like you said, it seems unnecessary
To do it as a
but I
one
guess
shot
it's
or
just
whatever. Just
because
stop for a
you
second, let him go back in the
can.
bathtub.
I mean, I don't know what the editing wise or logistics wise
Yeah.
what it would be if they did not do, but I can just imagine a person behind a breakaway wall, wig
Right.
switching.
And so the
That's crazy.
Cowboy wakes up and sees him with his face and faints. And he goes
Yes,
out to
he's-
talk to Lydia, and Lydia's like, what the fuck? What?
I know, you didn't
You
mention
didn't
it.
warn
I
me
guess
about
he
this.
didn't. He didn't really know that
Yes.
that's what was going to happen.
But he
either.
still
So it's not
sounds
he
like
could warn
Martin
her.
Short. And so she's like,
Right, and she's like, "What the fuck?" As you would,
and
what
she
the
goes
fuck?
in and see Cowboy is still tied up. So she's like, whoa, okay, well, how?
Yeah,
then?
he was like, "Go look." Yeah,
and he's
what
like,
is
I'll
going
explain
on?
later. Bitch, you explain now. You explain
I guess there's no time.
I guess.
There's no time.
And there's a knock at the door. It's Mr. Scrimshaw's men. Mm-hmm. And she puts, and I didn't even realize the cowboy had a gold cap. And so when she put the gold cap on his tooth, I thought it was like some sort of transmitter.
I did too.
Or it was going to do something, but it's just because cowboy has his gold cap.
Had a gold tooth. And like she just had that on deck.
You just had that in your pocket?
I know. Like, did they go take
was
it off
Hershey's
of Cowboy?
almond wrapper?
Oh, it was the foil from Benson and Hedges.
It could have been.
That's what I used to put on my teeth to pretend it was a grill.
And Margaret's there with Scrimshaw. Lydia's there as the cowboy. Oh yeah, no, okay. So then they set up the thing.
Oh, it's my sister-in-law.
Yeah. So she's like, oh, I'm the cowboy's assistant, and he says, oh, cowboy, something about you is different. And it's just the hair, but
right. It's just like that, and he's kind of behaving kind of twitchy. Like they can't really seem to put a finger on it because he looks.
Yeah, and they
like
ask about his hair. They definitely noticed the hair.
He was like, "Oh, I'm going for
Clint Eastwood style."
Right, Clint Eastwood.
I just had it done. Clint Eastwood style.
That's it.
So they bring out the microchip, and when he's talking to them, this gold foil starts like falling off of
like
his tooth. So it clearly was not meant for that. It was just some gold foil it was just, she happened to find somewhere.
I guess so. So now Scrimshaw is like, wait a minute. Did you tell her about your incredible tolerance for pain?
And his eyes like, what?
Like what?
And Mr. Igoe
like,
with his fucking propane hand. Okay.
You could do whatever without even reacting. Like it's everybody knows.
Everyone knows this about you. And he gets upset, and Tuck can't hold his face together because he's getting so nervous about this
pulse again.
Coming
it's
towards
like
him.
Whatever. And he's like, oh, I can't hold it. So now again, the face
this
shaking
one
and whatever.
This was horrifying, and I definitely
know this was
remember
Rob
this
Bottin.
one.
This is Rob Bottin
that did this. It's so good. And so he starts like shaking his face, and it's like part him and part cowboy, and it's stretching all weird, and then it's back to him again.
He's got like two noses. Yes. Everyone's freaking out. They're like backing up. Scrimshaw is like,
what the fuck?
Power of Christ compels you.
And bam, he's Jack again. And they're like, get him.
There's actually quite a few references to like exorcisms, possession, and exorcist. This being the second one, I feel like, and there's another one coming up towards the end.
So the chip flies into the dog's bowl, and they think the dog.
Oh, he's down there digging through it and like.
But he didn't.
Getting dog food shit all over his white suit. It's gross to me. It's gross to me.
And before we find out whether they get the chip back, it's already time
do it
for another break.
Hopefully we could wrap this up in the final leg. I think so. All right,
we'll be right back.
Okay, Garth, we have 25 seconds to encourage people to listen to the Least Haunted podcast.
I thought you said we had 30 seconds.
That's because I had to say we only had 25 seconds. That took 5 seconds.
Okay, well, I could do 25.
Now it's 20.
Oh, we did episodes on Atlantis, the Mine Apocalypse, Headless Horse People, Stonehenge, the Kraken, Genital Magic.
Garth, we don't have enough time to list all of them.
Okay, well, so the important thing is we heavily research spooky, haunted, paranormal topics from the perspective of two skeptics in a fun podcast every other week.
Well, I do all the research.
And I listen.
Be like Garth.
Be like me.
And listen to the Least Haunted podcast.
And we're back.
We're back, and they're being thrown into a basement.
Jack's looking for a
they
way
gotta
out,
keep
but
him
Lydia's
alive.
just like kind of looking at him like, why don't you tell
All of
me
a
the
sudden-
truth?
Yeah, I want to know exactly what's going on here.
And Tuck's like, fine, tell her. So they don't. We
Right.
don't even see his attempt at explaining this. You just cut to
No.
he's now explained it, and she's like, I don't buy it.
No,
You
not
gotta
at all.
prove
Right. So he's like, well, tell her exactly what I say.
So yeah, he says something mushy to convince her, and she
Right,
kisses
like it
him.
wasn't
which,
my toe that was broken. It was my heart.
yeah, and why did she kiss Jack?
Well,
I
because
mean-
he's like, you need to give me a minute by myself. I want to talk to her by myself.
So
And
that's
he was
after
like,
she kisses him.
Oh.
He's like, can I get a moment alone? And so now you just saw that she kissed him, and he asked for a moment alone. I'm surprised he was.
And is this where the spit throws him into Lydia's body?
Yes.
Now he's
because he goes to confess his feelings, and because he cuts off all communication, which I can't believe he
'cause
actually did.
I know. He was like, well, because Jack tells him, he's like, you're like inside my body. You fucking owe me this shit.
Right.
I guess. I don't know. He's really just trying to get that pussy. That crispy pussy.
Yes. You think your pussy hair is also gelled?
It looks just like her head hair. Fried.
So he goes to confess his feelings, and then they kiss, and that's when he's transferred. So while he has all his communications off, he gets transferred into her, which is why he doesn't realize until later.
He's like, oh, I can't turn it back on. I can't hear nothing.
So yeah, so now he can't reach him. He's like, what happened? And they take Jack and I don't know what this says and put Lydia. Oh, they put Lydia in the office while they go try to get. They're gonna go try to get Tuck out of Jack.
They're gonna take him to like this lab, which this is where I think they're in their space. They take him to the lab.
Yes, because they're going to miniaturize Igoe, and their equipment's all more fancy and whatever.
Right, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to miniaturize him. Have him go in there and kill Tuck,
and then we're going to get the chip and whatever."
Right, and then Scrimshaw was like, "Well, why don't you just let him begin while he's in there?"
Right,
and Canker's like, "Do you know how much of a mess?"
Yeah.
That would make in here. She's like, oh, all right.
That's fine.
Like,
go ahead.
That's fine. Whatever. And poor Jack is like, you bastards.
Yes. So meanwhile, the guard on Lydia is searching her purse and zaps himself with her fucking taser. So
right. And she grabs his gun and calls her buddy Dwayne and tells him, like, here I am. Send the cops. Like, I'm going in.
And while Igoe's getting in his ship, Tuck discovers a fetus inside Lydia.
And this is the thing I was going to mention earlier, which I didn't see it at the time. I read it later. That when she's at her desk talking to her editor and she's talking about the Ozzy being murdered and all that other shit, over the picture of Tuck, there's an ultrasound picture.
Oh,
so she knew.
I didn't know
and that's probably why she left. I didn't either until I read it. But she was like, well, fuck, I can't bring a baby into this.
Wow. And he's like, I'm a dad.
Yeah, like, oh, wow. Oh, Lydia. Like, how do you know it's yours?
You're drunk a
lot.
To be real. Who knows where she's
be real. To be real.
So, yeah, so Lydia's got the gun, and they're about to inject Jack with Igoe, who's been shrunken down.
Of course. And, of course, this also means that because that picture was there, she knows this, and she's still up to all these shenanigans knowing she's pregnant.
Yep. So they inject him, and that's when Lydia comes in, shoots, let him go. But like Igoe's already inside of Jack now.
Right. I mean, two guys inside you now. Or no, not just the one.
He thinks he has two guys inside
that's
him.
That's right, but it's just the one. So she gets him, they escape. He gets everybody to
get into the ship.
To the miniaturizer thing.
Yes. Yeah, the miniaturizer, just whatever structure. And he throws a switcheroo for them to be 50% only reduced, which...
Right. He doesn't make them small enough. No. He just makes them miniature sized.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the cops are, in fact, on their way. They come and find these small people while Jack and Lydia take off to go back to the other lab now that they have the chip and all the things.
And meanwhile, Tuck has amplified his Walkman to play their song. Because and she's like, what?
She's like, he goes, oh no, I'm not inside Jack. I don't think he's pregnant. I must be inside. And I can't have communication. So I need to turn this up as loud as I can. And hopefully she'll get the message.
And she does. She's like, what? He's in me.
Because they're on the staircase and Jack's still thinking that Tuck is in there,
starts
hits
beating
the other guy
guard,
with a two-piece and gets out, kicks him down the stairs and fucking saves them. He's like, wow, I did that myself.
Yep.
So they escape. She figures out that he must be in there. They kiss again in the car to transfer him back, I guess.
There's a guy in there after him.
I know.
Why would you put him back?
Why? That's what my question was. Why wouldn't you just...
He doesn't have,
let
weapons
Igoe die in there and
Igoe.
just go take him out of Lydia.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
I don't either. I don't know.
And then at first you only see the tiny legs of Margaret and Scrimshaw, running.
Yes. Little tiny baby legs.
And... So they
give me a leg up.
They kiss again, gets back, and then Jack is warning him, oh, by the way, there's a dude in there because Jack knows. I mean, warning,
Right.
Tuck knows none of this. He doesn't know
No,
another
'cause
dude
he
got
hasn't-
injected in him because he was in another
Right.
body and he had no sound.
Right. And once he's back inside of Jack, he's like, oh, hey, I'm back. And like communications are restored. So Jack tells him, oh, BT Dubs, there's a guy in there. He's been sent to kill you. And meanwhile, in the back seat
Tiny
is a miniature Scrimshaw and
Canker.
Canker, which this was also done because it was 1987. This is done with forced perspective. So that is them just looking tiny
From a
because they're
further
like
away
20
back
feet
seat.
away from Martin Short and Meg Ryan.
This part was
and
so
then they
silly.
use like, I know, they use like a giant suitcase, giant phone booth.
Okay.
All of the things were done with forced perspective, like little hands, big heads,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
So Igoe's approaching Tuck inside, and his
His little-
oxygen's at 20% now.
Right. He can't like do anything because it's going to like blow his entire oxygen thing. Everybody's on their way to try to get him out of there. Scrimshaw and Canker are fighting them the whole way, trying to get him to crash
He's
this
about to
car.
crash. Exactly.
Ivo is in there attacking the little pod that Tuck is in. It's like a whole big action
Yes.
sequence going on right now.
And the car crashes on the beach, and Tuck fucks up Igoe's thruster finally,
Right.
like in their whole little battle, and
Yes.
he's got to fucking.
Well, like he drops the fucking pod that Igoe is in. Like Igoe has a way to get out of his pod. Like he
Right.
can go like moonwalk with this little fucking
Yes.
suit. And like I thought that it was going to be a bigger deal that the little pod got dropped into his lungs.
But no,
That's why he was doing like the.
Yeah, it doesn't
no,
come up again.
that
I mean, he
wasn't
can't
why.
breathe, but then he's fine in a minute.
That's just because he's fucking nervous and there's all kinds of shit going on in there. So they're fighting. They end up in his guts.
And Tuck drops Igoe into his belly. In his
Right. He was like, I saw a tumor in here. It was like really big. I don't know. It looked like the size of the
Yeah, he
Chrysler
gets him
Building.
all
And he's like,
anxious so that
"Oh,
his
my
bubble
ulcer."
guts. Yeah.
And this part I also remembered was like the guts. It looked like the bog of eternal stench. Like
Yeah.
that part also was, well, because it was an inside the body part.
Yes.
That's why. And now he does, in fact, have a tiny little skeleton that's going to
Yeah.
be inside of him.
And he burps. Like, he gets digested, and then he's like, "Brr."
He was like, you just digested the bad guy.
Yep.
Good job.
So now the bad guys, the two little guys, are trying to use the payphone, and this is where it's like a big old payphone. They're like on top of the shoulders trying to get to
Right.
this fucking thing. And they call the cowboy.
Right. They're like, we need this now more than ever.
And now Tuck's oxygen is critical.
Right. The life support on the pod is inoperable. He's running out of air. So they finally make it to the lab.
And he doesn't even have time to like get in the thing. Jack has to sneeze him out.
Right. And he was like, just think about sneezing, like hay fever, whatever. He's like, hairspray. 'Cause he's allergic to hairspray.
Right,
Does
spray
anybody
some
have
hairspray. Yeah.
So he does. He sneezes right on Dr. Niles' glasses.
And
They
him
pluck off
with
the little
tweezers.
thing.
Yep.
Put him in the thing, and they're like waiting for that arm to transfer. And the guy just like,
Just
fuck it.
put it in.
He's like, "Yeah, we're running out of time. And
So
boom.
yeah, they get him out. He's fine.
Or first they have the eat me, drink
Yeah,
me.
the
He was like, it's from
code.
The Exorcist. He says like, oh, it's from The Exorcist,
The
which I assume is the
Exorcist.
fuck me, lick me,
Oh,
whatever thing that he was thinking of. He's like, no. Alice in Wonderland.
eat me, drink me.
Fuck me, lick me.
So yeah, they get the code. They get him out. He's fine. I love you, Lydia. Why didn't you tell me I was
Oh,
going to be a
right.
dad?
Oh, and now like Jack has to watch all of this.
And he's like sad but happy for them. Like he has a
Right.
look where
He's
he's
like,
like,
well-
disappointed, but also like, yeah,
oh shucks, but I
if
guess
she's pregnant, I guess, you know.
they knew. I guess he's got to fuck up that kid's life too, because he's not going to get any better.
And Tuck comes over and gives him a big hug. They have a little
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Right. They finally meet face to face. And it's like this whole reunion thing. Oh, everyone's all grateful. Everyone's happy.
And now cut to Tuck and Lydia's wedding. So she's fuck all that stuff you already knew about him that still probably hasn't
Right.
changed.
Nope.
Let's get
She's
married.
going to have
Let's
a
get
white
married.
wedding, which is a larf.
And Jack is the best man.
Right. And like, so I get why Jack was there. I get why he was there at the wedding. But why was his boss at the wedding? Why was Wendy at the wedding?
Why were they?
Why were any of his doctor? Why did any of
makes
his
no
people
sense.
go to Tuck and Lydia's wedding?
That makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know. I did not even think about it.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
weird.
like, why are these people here?
And then he gives him
makes
his
sense.
boring cruise tickets that he already had as a wedding present. Is that what he gave them? Like, he gave him
Right,
cruise
like-
tickets, but was that his tickets when he was supposed to go on a
probably.
non-exciting
He's like,
vacation?
I don't need it now, I guess. I guess go fuck that girl that I was all interested in on that cruise I was supposed to go on because
Right.
whatever. So then he goes to pay the limo driver.
And it's the cowboy.
It's the cowboy.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, fuck. Like, as he's driving away, he quits. He tells Wendy, no fucking chance. He tells his doctor, I'm cured.
Yeah, I'm not
And then
coming-
he's like,
exactly.
I'm not going to do that. But then he's like, fuck, that was the cowboy.
Yep.
He gets in Tuck's car that
Yep.
he has now, apparently.
Right? Like, Tuck just gave him the keys now.
All of this is like delusional nonsense. They all died at some point. He embiggened while he was inside of him.
And the
Jack
little,
was torn
little
asunder.
criminals are inside the suitcase. They still haven't gotten
Yes.
embiggened. And so that's
No.
apparently why they're still chasing this guy, is because they
Right,
need this
they're-
chip.
They're in the thing. The cowboys got them. He doesn't even catch up with them down the road. He's going somewhere else. They like took a different
He
turn.
jumps in this car and takes chase like this is his life now.
Right.
Like this is how are
Yeah.
you going to feed
He's
yourself,
gonna be-
Jack? Like how are you going to make money? This is not a paying gig chasing bad guys.
Right? Did you have that much like
Apparently having
vacation
Dennis
time?
Quaid inside you makes you really feel like you can do anything.
Well, don't ask me. Ask Meg Ryan.
But yeah, so I just wrote so much more I forgot about this movie than I
Mm-hmm.
remembered. And like they fully set it up where they could have done a sequel.
Right. Like, and I didn't see anything about
That there was supposed to be.
that there might have been, or maybe they were going to come back to it. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Just this open-ended, yeah, Tuck is probably still an alcoholic. Scrimshaw and Canker probably kill them when they get to their or they get them on a different plane. Like, none of this is going to work out.
No.
What's Jack going to do? What's Jack
I
going
don't
to
know.
do? Nothing? Take off in his car? He's like, well, now
I
I
was
guess
gonna
it's
say
really
maybe he has a
mine.
big savings, but we already know he doesn't because he told that doctor he
No,
couldn't
he
afford
spent
a
it all on
good vacation.
doctors. Yeah.
And not
None
to
of this
mention all
works
the
out.
medical fallout from all the shit that Tuck did while he was inside.
Right?
of it.
All the things, like, now he needs, like, work and repairs. Did the fucking program pay for this shit? Did they, like, get another little dude inside there to, like, sew up all the fucking damage or what? Did they manage to pull the other craft out of his fucking lungs?
Right? But yeah, there's so much more to this movie than I remembered. If you guys have not
Yes.
watched this in a long
Yes.
time, go watch it. I mean, I was not
Blew my fucking
disappointed.
mind.
My mind
No.
was blown because it was so much I didn't remember.
Right. If you think you remember Innerspace, you don't.
And of course, it's not available anywhere. So good luck finding it if you don't own a
Good luck
physical
finding
copy.
it.
But
Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you're into that kind of life.
you love Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid as a couple so much. You're like, I
I
gotta
know.
own the movie where they met.
I have to own, like, all of the movies that they're in together. How many movies were they in together? Was it just...
I feel like she was in more movies with Tom Hanks than she was
Yes.
with Dennis Quaid. 'Cause
Yes.
they did like 3. It was Joe
They
versus
did
the
3 or
volcano.
4.
You've got Mail, and I feel like there's another one.
I almost said Philadelphia, but that's not it. Was Sleepless in
The plot
Seattle.
would be
It was a
totally-
different
oh, yeah,
place. It was a
Sleepless in
different
Seattle.
place.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, they did quite a few together. So yeah, no, I don't know if they did a whole lot, but this is responsible for their whole relationship.
Yeah.
Probably the name of their child. The reason they got married on Valentine's Day.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know.
It means
Like,
a
he
lot
was
to
just-
them, or it did. At one
He
point
was
in time.
sweaty and she was crispy, and they just
and they stuck together like glue.
they stuck together. They didn't have a choice.
If she fell asleep with her crispy hair against that sweaty body, you know she woke up stuck to it. All that hairspray melted like gel.
Oh man.
So we don't have any new messages or texts this week.
No.
Wah.
Well, I mean, we did give you a double breaker, so
Yeah, but you should call and leave us one. 702-720-DOOM. Text message, voice message. As long as it's not mean, you can say whatever you want. You can comment on an episode. You can just tell us, hi. You can do an impression of somebody. Whatever you
Right?
want to do.
whatever you want to do, we are here for it and all of it.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff always helps. And until next week,
We'll talk at you next time. Later, Doomers.